Hey, what's up ladies and gents, welcome back to another eFootball 2024 video. This time we are going to be leveling up my defensive midfielders and just seeing the best builds. So we're going to start kicking on things off with Casemiro as an anchor man. Now I wanted to go for more defensive build because I think that best suits him and his abilities, because his tight possession is pretty low and his speed and acceleration is also pretty low and his dribbling is pretty low as well. So he's not exactly the quickest across the ground, but what I wanted was a player who can intercept, block, get the ball down and just lay it off to someone who's more creative to progress the ball forward. So he did come from the Manchester United pack, and I've used various Casemiros over the past few years. Passing 8, dribbling 8, dexterity 6, lower body strength 4, aerial strength 4, and defending 8. And no matter which build I've tried, I just cannot get this player to perform well for me. He does do a good job defensively. I'm not gonna lie, but there are better players at that in my opinion. The likes of Kante, for example. You know, he's got some great player skills here. Like I said, interception, blocker, aerial superiority, slide tackling, man marking, all good stuff to have. But in all honesty, I just can't get a tune out of him, and I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10. Next up is Kimmich, and in all honesty, he looks to be one of the best builds on paper, but he doesn't feel that way when you've got him in your fingertips. He is a good player, but just not all that great in my opinion, and I would opt for Verratti over Kimmich as an orchestrator, and he's now at least 3rd or 4th in my orchestrator list now that I've got Camavinga. But let me just show you his build. So 8 for passing, 8 for dribbling, 4 for dexterity, 4 for lower body strength, and 8 for fending. I may change this to see if I can get a better tune out of him, because at the minute this build isn't really to my liking. I would give him a 6 out of 10. And this is a build I'm going to go with now. 6 for passing, 8 for dribbling, 8 for dexterity, and 8 for lower body strength. Abandoning his defending and just seeing hopefully how this works. Next up is Rodri, and honestly this is one of the first names on my team sheet. I was a little bit worried about his balance being lower, and I always opted for Jorginho over Rodri. 2 reasons: when orchestrators were probably better than anchormen at the time, but now anchormen actually play a more pivotal role, I think, since the latest updates. So I would say that Rodri now even surpasses the old Jorginho, who I originally had on the PlayStation, but the new Jorginho is a lot weaker now since he moved from Chelsea to Arsenal, and his stats are nowhere near as good. And now Rodri is, like I said, is pretty much the first name on my team sheet. Does really well, feels really good on the ball, better than that 66 balance sort of maybe suggests, perhaps helped by his weight and his height and his physical contact. But he's got really good defensive capabilities, good passing ability, and just always seems to be in the right place at the right time. He's got some great player skills: one-touch passing, through passing, weighted passing, low-lofted passing, but he's also got interception, aerial superiority, and man marking. Additional player skills: I was aiming for blocker, but unfortunately didn't quite come off. I would give Rodri, so this is how I leveled Rodri: 8 for passing, 8 for dribbling, 8 for dexterity, and 4 for lower body strength. A 10 out of 10 for this build. Next up is Tonali, and he is probably the second player that I would sort of go to as an anchor man. He is exceptional, really does a really good job for me. Can't quite dispossess or displace Rodri. He's got all the key skills again: one-touch passing, weighted passing, low-lofted passing, interception from a defensive point of view, double touch. So he's got really nice ability there, and honestly it's definitely a recommendation from me as a GP player. This is how I leveled Tonali: 8 for passing, 12 for dribbling, 6 for dexterity, 4 for lower body strength, 4 for aerial strength, and 8 for defending. Tonali, I'm going to give him a 9 out of 10. Next up is Bruno Guimaraes, and as an orchestrator, he's one of my favorites until my player of the week, Bruno Guimaraes, came along. But this is a sensational build, and this is how I leveled Bruno Guimaraes: 6 for passing, 12 for dribbling, 8 for dexterity, 8 for lower body strength, and 8 for defending. He does lack one-touch passing, which is a bit disappointing, so try and get that through an additional player skill, and interception, which is why he's not my main starter as an orchestrator, but he does seem to do better than his stats and his player skills suggest. For me, he is a 7 out of 10. I'll be honest with you guys, I haven't used Jorginho all that much since the PlayStation days, but he was really good on the PlayStation. But I just think he's a little bit too slow now in this build. He did have that high balance, as you can see there, 78 in comparison to Rodri, which was 66. So there's quite a significant difference there. But like I said, I've not tested this build enough to know whether it's any good or not as an orchestrator. But this is how I leveled it anyway: 8 for passing, 12 for dribbling, 8 for dexterity, and 4 for lower body strength, and 4 for defending. And that brings me to the end of this video, ladies and gents. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this series, and if you are, don't forget to smash that like button. And until next time guys, take care of yourselves, stay safe, I'll see you soon, bye bye.